Hey, I'm just in Santa Cruz. Just watched the new edit. Yeah, definitely better than the first one. The first one had me a little worried. Gonna have to round up a few more clips from some of the guys, and hopefully we can figure out a way to put it all together and finish it up here pretty soon. I know the deadline's coming up, so yeah, I got some email about doing some kind of skit or something for the thing, but I don't know. I'm kind of overdoing a skit. Maybe I'd rather just probably show just more surf footage or something. I'd rather not do a skit, just do something different and just show more surfing. It's probably better. That's what I like to see. I'm not really into people doing skits. I don't know. Whatever. Give me a call back when you can. All right.
Great almighty, as far as I can tell. Hi there, my name's Alexander. I'm the technical trainer from Trakker, and I put together this video montage so I can show you the DTG3 in terms of its control systems and especially highlight the new vertically mounted precision thruster. Now this is our smallest ROV. The whole system, ROV, tether, and controller, and any add-ons you have fit into a single wheeled Pelican case. It's got an 8-hour battery life and a 300-meter depth rating. You can pick it up and carry it with 1 or 2 fingers. It's really an amazing system for its size with a 4K camera and super bright lights. Now, in terms of its operation, the way we set up these devices, we ballast them to be neutrally buoyant. So you can add and remove weights so that when you take your hands off the controls, it sits, as this unit is here, without moving in the water. When we want to move, we can use the 2 main thrusters on either side of the robot. If I push forward on a joystick, it moves forward. If I pull backwards on that joystick, it moves backwards. And when I push left and right, we get alternate thrust and the robot turns on a dime. Now, the reason the robot turns so precisely, and you can see that those sort of like sudden moves, it suddenly stops. It's very, very easy to control because it's got an accelerometer, a gyroscope, and a compass built into that sensor pod, and it recognizes rotational velocity and fights any rotational velocity which is not a direct result of any control inputs. So the robot is quite easy to maneuver, especially in a 2-dimensional plane. Caveat, you have to ballast your robot properly, but once you have, it's really easy to use. Now it gets a little bit trickier when you start thinking about moving vertically through the water column. I've got another joystick. When I push forward or pull backwards, it pitches forward or pitches backward, and it pitches relative to the amount of displacement of that joystick. So you have to think about it like a fixed wing aircraft. I pitch the aircraft and then apply thrust to move it through the water column. In this case, watercraft, I guess, would be the appropriate term. So it moves very quickly up and down. You can get to depth fast. It's very efficient in terms of your time because of its ability to sort of point its strongest thrusters in one direction and then move. And when you take your hands off those thrusters, it sits stationary. Now, we also have a depth hold mode. So this is valuable when you're not perfectly ballasted, or if you've got turbulent water that's pushing the robot up and down, or if you want to move slowly in a vertical direction so that you have a nice vertical inspection of structure underwater. So the robot will sit within about 1/10 of a meter, constantly using those thrusters to hold itself at that depth. But I've now given up smooth yaw control. Because my thrusters are pointed relatively upwards, you can see the robot has to pitch down a little bit to be able to yaw. Now you can still put those control inputs in, and it will pitch and yaw for you. And you can move forward and backwards. It's going to get rid of the pitch. It's going to move forwards, and then it's going to pitch back up as soon as you take your fingers off the controls. But this creates a little bit of jerkiness in the camera view. I can fit into small spaces. I can move really quickly. When I do an inspection, especially when a skilled operator is doing an inspection, we might not even use the depth hold mode because we're just constantly pitching and thrusting and manipulating the camera. So you're moving 3 joysticks all at once. It's easy to do inspections of things that are flat. So right now you can basically make the robot so that it's in a horizontal orientation, but the camera, you can see where those lights are pointed. The camera is pointing straight up, and then I can just drive around underneath the dock and I can inspect the bottom of the dock or of a hull. But if I want to move vertically through the water column and I want to do it without pushing 3 joysticks at once, I use the depth hold mode. With the new vertical thruster, the depth hold system is so much simpler. Essentially, I'm doing the same thing. I hit the depth hold button and I push up to go, I push forward to go down or pull back to go up. But in this case, the robot stays level. And this allows me to have very tight yaw control as well as to be able to move in and out relative to whatever object it is that I'm inspecting. So you can do this with a base level unit, but you can do this far more precisely with the precision thruster, this vertically mounted precision thruster. So it's really ingenious to me. essentially you've got the one thruster on the back, and in this case the robot's about to descend, so that thruster is going to push up. Well, the robot would spin around in a circle, except that it uses the same counterweights from the pitching mechanism to directly counteract the torque of that thruster. And so what you get is a smooth vertical motion rather than rotational motion. And here you can see while you're doing all of this, you can still manipulate the camera. You can turn the camera to look anywhere within a 270-degree range. So you've got an incredible amount of precision in the position of your robot and in the position of the camera to see exactly what you need to see. This, to me, is a big improvement over the previous sort of base level system, but both are incredibly effective. And for me, I came to this company as a licensed Canadian drone pilot, and I find the DTG3 a joy to pilot. It's both fun, it's intuitive, and it's very effective. I've got some more clips here. I'm running out of things to say. I've got some more clips here, so I'll just let it run for the next 30 seconds or so. It's just so you can get a feel for its movement. I think that's about it. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope this was informative.
Let's see what happens. Oh, nice. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check this out. It's the Trakker DT2 Worker. This is an underwater industrial submarine. If you've seen some of my other reviews on other submarines, they've always had a little bit to be desired, where the camera pitch and stuff wasn't quite where we wanted it to be, and the stability, but I've got high hopes for this one. It's called the Trakker, and we're going to do a deep dive into this one. We're going to do several reviews of it. Today's just going to be an unboxing, inspection, and setup, and see how it looks with the FPV and just what all the functions do. And then in the next few videos, we're going to do a underwater freshwater test and also an ocean test. I'm going to try to get out in some deep water. This one can go pretty deep, and we're going to see how it all works. So anyway, let's get started with the Trakker and see what it's all about. Okay, so I've already taken it out of the box. As you can see, it's a big boy here. It's not very light. The Trakker itself probably weighs about, I want to say 15 pounds with just this guy here. We have the controller here. It's a built-in all-in-one. Almost looks like it's fully waterproof. This has a 328-foot cable or 100-meter cable on a reel back there. We'll get to that in just a second. It did come in this big industrial plastic box here, so you can see over there on the side. I'm not going to really go into that, but it's all mounted up and locked down in there, so you're not going to get any issues with shipping and stuff like clanking around in there and damaging it. It was really secure in the box. Have no doubt this is going to be a super industrial one. But anyway, let's get into it. So as we can see, first up is the Trakker itself, the Trakker. They have multiple versions of this. They've got versions with different size tethers here. This is, like I said, 100 meter here. And this one has, check it out, this one has a grabber arm on it that you can control remotely from the controller. So we're going to be able to open that thing up, close it, and also spin it like this. And it has this camera inside of it. This is like a plexiglass ring all the way around. It's not actually glass. It's a plexiglass acrylic type of material so that it will not be able to crack or break if you hit stuff. It says you can actually polish scratches out of this as well. It's got a camera here, which we're going to boot up in a second, check it out, that actually rotates all the way up to vertical, and it can go all the way down. Of course, we have the grabber arm on right now, so we're not going to be able to see down to the very bottom. But if you take this thing off, which actually just comes off with these little, almost looks like giant body clips, you can pull these out, you can take this arm off, And you can put other peripherals, or you can just have this thing completely off, and you can actually see out the glass on the very bottom if you wanted to. So pretty cool. We've got high intensity LED lights in the front. We've also got a high intensity LED light on the camera itself. We can turn off and on with all these controls, which we're going to go over in just a sec. Pulling this thing a little bit closer, it's got these industrial handles on top. These are ballast weights, so you can put ballast weights on the top and the bottom to adjust for freshwater or saltwater. This is a dive plane, so as far as I'm not sure what that means, but this also has the ability to mount extra cameras.